Hello and welcome to our show on the internet, Mesanote Bites. I'm Jerry Sarmiento, transmitting from beautiful Cypress, Texas, in northwest Houston. Today is a beautiful Sunday in ending of July, beginning of August. Really hot, really humid, sunny. So we're having a great time at the pool. It is about 6:30 p.m. and it's about time to start thinking about food. The nanny, who is always taking care of us, is taking her day off very seriously, so she is sipping on her piña coladas by the pool. So I'm giving the assignment of come up with a dinner for all four of us. So today we're gonna do Peruvian food, but Peruvian with a twist. As some of you may know, Peruvian food is really a fusion of a number of different influences. African, Chinese, Japanese, Spanish, French, English, Italian, and of course native Peruvian, with Peruvian ingredients, lots of potatoes, lots of grains, lamb, llama, you name it. There are a number of different things used in Peruvian cuisine, which has reached a point of recognition around the world. So I'm very happy to talk about Peruvian Chinese food today, and the main reason is because it is very helpful when you're in a bind. Like today, I'm not in the mood to go out and look for a piece of steak to grill or lobsters to boil or anything fancy to make. So, and that's the same idea of the Chinese immigrants had when, not for these reasons, but because they didn't have the means to go get ingredients, so they had to use a lot of leftovers, a lot of things that they had to use. So it is wonderful from the perspective that you can use things like, and in this case you're going to see later, I'm using a piece of filet mignon that was cooked à poivre, which is peppercorn crusted, flatbread in brandy with veal stock and butter, etc., etc. But I'll show you what I did with it to make this chaufa rice. And let me explain a little bit about Peruvian Chinese food. In Peru we call it chifa, and it's a term used to refer to a style of food prepared by the fusion of criollo or Creole Lima food with Chinese food brought by the Chinese immigrants, mainly from the province of Canton in the mid, late and early 20th century. I mean mid and late 19th century and early 20th century. So they have been in Peru for quite some time. Actually, we have a very, very well established Chinatown in Lima. But chifa is a term also used to define a type of restaurant. We have about 2,000 plus restaurants, chifa, Chinese restaurants in Peru. It's almost like having a Starbucks or a McDonald's around here. You'll find almost around every neighborhood a well-established chifa or Chinese restaurant. So when the Chinese worker came to Peru in the 19th century, they brought their cuisine with them. Over the years they had to adapt, of course, to work with Peruvian ingredients and incorporated some South American cooking techniques as well. Chifa is a phonetic playing of Chinese words. It comes from the Chinese Mandarin word chi fan, which means to eat rice. So they were saying chi fan. Translated to Peruvian, it became chifa, and people today they refer to chifa as a restaurant. But anyway, there are a lot of dishes. For example, one very, very typical Peruvian dish is called lomo saltado, and I'll probably make one of those later in another webisode. Today what I'm going to do is Arroz Chaufa, which is Chinese fried rice Peruvian version. And I'm going to use for that leftover filet mignon. As I told you before, you can use leftover broiled chicken, turkey from Thanksgiving, sausages, shrimp. I mean, anything you can think of, you can really use for this Arroz Chaufa dish. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, follow me with this recipe.
Okay, I'm going to be using 2 cups of rice, and rice is a very important part of this recipe. 2 cups for 4 people today. And some garlic is mandatory. And here is my filet mignon, which was cooked la poivre a couple of days ago in Mesanote. I brought it home and I just rinsed it so there are no remaining flavors. And this is what we call kion, or ginger root, that you can find in any supermarket. Soy sauce that we call sillao in Peru, and of course you can find that in the oriental section in any supermarket, as well as sesame seed oil. Today we're going to use also some green onions, and for 4 people I'm going to be using 4 eggs today. Now we're going to cook the rice, and the rice is a very important part of this recipe. I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil here, and my fire is on high. Here is some of my garlic. That's probably about a teaspoon of chopped garlic. I'm going to let it cook. Some salt. Don't put a lot of salt because we're going to be using the soy sauce, and that in itself has a lot of sodium. Here goes my rice, 2 cups of it, and I'm going to be using 3 cups of water. Now you can soak and rinse the rice beforehand 3, 4, 5 times if you want to get rid of some of the starch and make it more fluffy. I like it a little sticky myself, so it depends on how you like your rice. In this case I didn't rinse it, I didn't wash it, so I'm putting it straight into the pan and adding the water in the proportion of 2 cups of rice and 3 cups of water. You're just gonna wait until water starts boiling, and we're getting there. We're on high fire right now. If we were using a restaurant stove, this would be boiling much quicker, because the BTUs in a commercial stove are about 30,000 BTUs versus maybe 10,000 in a home stove. And that's why I like to make these recipes at home, so you can reproduce them as well. Now once it boiled and you see little bubbles on top of the rice, you lower your fire to very, very low. You cover it and you just let it steam for maybe 5 more minutes. Now we're gonna go use our board here. I put a wet towel underneath my board so my board doesn't slide around, and I'm gonna slice my filet mignon that I have already rinsed and gotten rid of all the previous flavors from the original recipe of filet au poivre. And now I'm cutting my green onions. I like to cut them in a diagonal. You can cut them any way you want, actually, or any way you like or feel more comfortable. Just use a couple of bunches of green onions. My rice is done. Okay, it's a little sticky, not very sticky. I like it this way, and again, depending on how you like it, you may add more water or less water, or rinse it beforehand. Now let's take care of the rest of the ingredients. This is my ginger root, which you should peel with a paring knife. After peeling, we're gonna dice it or chop it really small. small as you can. And my eggs, these are the 4 eggs. I'm beating them as if I was going to make scrambled eggs. Actually, that's what I'm making, scrambled eggs. Some oil in my pan, high heat. There go the eggs in, and I'm just going to start making my scrambled eggs. No salt, no pepper, no nothing, just the eggs and the oil. That's about ready. And now we're gonna get serious. This is our wok. If you don't have a wok, just use a large pan. Yeah, we continue with our heat in high. Now we're going to start putting in the ingredients, the rest of my garlic, which is about another teaspoonful of minced garlic, and then I'm going to continue with my minced ginger root. The aromas are starting to come out. Then I add my sliced filet mignon, my leftover, which could be anything other than filet mignon, as I said before. Now I'll start putting some more flavors in here with our sesame seed oil. Not too much, maybe a teaspoonful of sesame seed oil. So at this point we have a garlic, the sesame seed oil, and the ginger root. Now we start putting the rice in, which we previously cooked. Mix it really well. It's gonna start frying here. Now we put the eggs. Mix it real well. Now to taste, we're going to start adding the soy sauce. You can put more or less depending on the color you like, the saltiness level you like. I cannot really tell you how much. You need to try it. At this point you can probably take a spoon and just try a bite and see if you like it, if it's enough or you need more. And towards the end you're gonna add the chopped green onions. You don't want to do this at the beginning, you don't want them to wilt, so you just want them to be incorporated here nicely and crispy. I'm putting some more soy sauce for my taste. Continue mixing. We're about done. Couple more turns. And voila. Here is my Arroz Chaufa, Peruvian Chinese fried rice. Accompany this with a nice glass of Malbec, since we have filet mignon as a part of the mix. This goes very well with it. Cheers. Well, I hope you like this recipe, and I hope you have a chance to try it on a lazy Sunday. And as usual, please enjoy life, have great food, have great wines, great company, enjoy family and friends, and we'll see you soon at the restaurant or in our next webisode at Mesanote Bites. Thank you.